Hi, and thank you for tuning in to a new episode for the Japanese STF Uniform League Airsoft. Today I have finally received my package for the Vietnam War model M16A1. I have a project at the moment going on, and I will going to show you what the planning is. For those of you who have been to Vietnam before, especially in Ho Chi Minh City, or also known as Saigon, they are still selling Vietnam War stuff on a local market. I cannot pronounce the name from my head, but I put the link here in a few moments. You can go there for yourself. It is really impressive to see how many stuff is over from the Vietnam War. You might think most of them are reproductions or fake, but there are a few things over that were really used in the Vietnam War, like this. A piece of the M16A1 or AR-15 plastic furniture. This original, I really doubt that the Vietnamese would go so much effort to make a fake one. Hundreds of thousands or M16 versions were left behind when Democratic Republic of North Vietnam, about whole South Vietnam itself. The militia is still using the M16 version, but we will go there in a few moments. First, let's go open this case. Well, it has cost some time to get this model all the way to me. Oh. Well, the person who sent me this M16, he has put many effort to protect it at all cost. Oh, a third layer. And here you go, the M16A1 version. It still has the triangle flash hider that in the beginning for the AR-15. This one has the push button. I'm missing the magazine. Oh, a high cap magazine. And there you go, the M16A1 version. A later model from the adopting M16, or I mean the AR-15. The AR-15 did not have this push button. The ground forces really wanted it, but the Air Force didn't, because the M16 was first in use with observers and airborne units in Vietnam, and they saw no really problems with the system button. So this is still on discussion to this day. Is the push button really necessary or not? I'm not going into that today. That's not about this video. What I'm going to do is to replace this. I'm going to replace the handguard on this front. It is a strong material, but because I have bring two of these types with me home from the Vietnam in Saigon last year, so I'm going to replace it. I have another M16 1 year ago, but unfortunately it was broken from the inside. An idiot has put much of super glue into the battery systems here, the motor, where you can fire every time. It could not open anymore. So I have to replace it with the new version, but it costs a lot of time to replace one, because if you don't have the money because of the coronavirus, yeah, then you actually have to wait. And also I have this for on for a real scope, but I'm not really into that. If you want to really go Vietnam style with Green Berets or something, yeah, that's a different story. But for ground forces, they only use without only iron sights. This is really one of my favorites. It was my first weapon when I started Airsoft. It was the M16A2. Then we could remove this handguard and put on a scope itself. I thought it was the Vietnam War era version, but I didn't know there was so many different versions from the M16 family, from the AR-15 to the M16A1, all the way to the M16A4 with a new railguard system and many other features. Now, of course, the Americans using the M4 the M4 carbine, still M16 in surface, but more for training and for rearguard units specialized. But let's go replace the handguard. It's very easy, I think. Is off, and as you can see, the normal barrel and tube gas system regulates back to the action to recycle a new bullet into the chamber. So those two are the plastic versions that comes with the M16, and you can see here thoroughly still use the gas system for the M16. Now put the original on it. Hi, welcome to the second part of this video about the M16 Airsoft. If you also see, I have a different hat on because it's more appropriate because this video is more about the Vietnam War, also known as for me as the Vietnamese Civil War. I know that the Vietnamese says it is the American War, we in the West says the Vietnam War, but why is no one is calling the Vietnamese Civil War? This almost the same, identical during the American Civil War. Two armies, two governments, two different ideals. So in my eyes, I call it the Vietnamese Civil War. And a few hours ago, I made the first video when I opened the box when finally my M16 arrived. I had some mechanical issues with it because the handguard. This is the reproduction version from my M16 that came with it. I want to replace it with the original stock that I have bought in Vietnam last year. I have remade the front of the original part because it would not fit. So this the part that came with it, and you can see it is much smaller and thinner here, and the original was a little bit thicker. So finally, the original version is now finally on my M16A1 version from Airsoft. This version is not yet seen combat or NG Airsoft combat, but it is really fine to see that using an original stock, and this, I don't know, it is much more, it feels better actually compared to using a reproduction version. And this, yeah, it's still strong material, but it doesn't feel right somehow. When I feel this, it feels right. Even the stock is still not replaced by an original version. I am planning to do that. It surprised me even to this day that the Vietnamese army and the local militias, especially in the south, still using the M16A1 version and the carbine version, the XM177E2, if I pronounce it correctly. I will go that in a few moments. In Ho Chi Minh City, you can find a local market not far of the Independence Palace. I put in a link in the description down below where you can find it. Hundreds of thousands of M16 versions were left behind after Saigon fell to the North Army of North Vietnam. And after the unification, hundreds of thousands were kept in storage or were given by the local militias. Hundreds of thousands of rounds for the 5.56 were in use in that time. So that makes it really interesting for me. Even I have seen many footage that even the special forces of the Vietnamese army using the short version, the EM177E2 version. It's almost like an M4, but much more shorter than usual. They like the compact size, just like the same as with the Green Berets during the Vietnamese Civil War. And the M16, I have seen that 4 places, the buttstock, the hand grip, and the handguard were replaced with new furniture, only almost like wood plastic versions. And it's really interesting that the Vietnamese still using M16s from the Vietnamese Civil War. The M16 will continue to see service even after the fall of Saigon, especially South Forces militia will continue to see service actually. And I think they really liked the weapon during the guerrilla warfare from the National Liberation Front, or NLF in short. They were guerrillas to fight against the Saigon government forces, and they captured a lot of M16s. Most were using with the Vietnamese windmen actually. They really liked the small caliber. It has not so much recoil to it. It was a little bit lighter, and also the caliber was not so powerful compared to the AK-47. But still, many soldiers would continue to see service, and also the M1 Garand rifle in the M block clip, the M1 or M2 carbine version, the Browning 1919 light machine gun, or the Browning 1918 version. Those were the most common, and I'm really surprised that even to this day the Vietnamese army or the local militias still using leftovers from the Civil War. So which weapon would you prefer actually to fight if you are in the militia in Vietnam actually? Would you go with the M16, M1 Garand, the AK-47? What are your choices actually? Please let me know in the comment section down below actually. And hopefully you like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. I will going to make more and more new videos in the upcoming year.